It's 8 o'clock. We'll call the October 11th Transit Committee meeting to order. We have everyone here except for Jerry Hartung and John Menz. Approval of minutes for the September 13th.
I'll make that motion.
No second. Motion's been made second. Any discussion on the committee meetings? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Public comment? None. None for the staff reports on docket.
Mission meeting today, ridership, the results of a month in community route fare change, results from the Stout PM change a month in, grant timeline, electric bus update, financials, community awareness, transit commission members, and any questions. Ridership, looking at ridership for doorstop and Red Cedar. If you look at the month as a whole, it decreased 6%, but looking at the service days, we actually gained 2 per day. Looking at the community route, we increased from 960 in August to 1380 in September, but Stout was back starting a week into September. Service days, we had 1 more service day in September as well. And then the Stout route, Stout route ridership was the best September to date at 12,625, beating out the second best year of 2015 by 286 riders. Ridership, looking back the past 3 months of doorstop and Red Cedar ridership, 469, and looking back right in the middle of the pack, actually a bit low compared to previous years of September. But looking at community, community Monday through Friday in September of 2023 was the 4th best out of 9 years. But also a lot of that Stout overflow, and looking at the Stout numbers for AM and PM. AM was the best, PM was the second best. Putting them together, it was the best year we've had. And then community Saturday ridership about doubled best year previously. So those were great to see.
But you really tell that 2020 was a pandemic, can't you? Of how much lower it is.
Just a bit,
No.
yeah. I think our total for the year was around 40 or 50,000 for the Stout route. Well, we were shut down for middle of March through, that was right before I came here, but middle of March, I think the university went complete online. And then it was 50-50 the whole fall through spring. Community route fare change, we're a month into this. Our goal was around 500. I brought in a month for a total of 6,000 a year, and 500 in fares was brought in September. Is right on track of what we're looking at.
No, not.
Stout PM route update. We're a month into this. Looking at the weeks over to the left, other than our little outlier of last week, we were getting 20 to 30% better every week. With 3 Northtown riders week 1, 16 week 2, 22 riders week 3, 35 riders week 4, and dropped a little bit last week. But a lot of good numbers, in my opinion, on because we're getting around 100 a night, and
How much of that is because of Walmart? Quite a bit.
95%. 5% are going to marketplace. for those two Northtown
kind
stops.
of, tongue in cheek though, but maybe they'd want us, a little money to give us back to us if we were bringing all these customers in
Yeah,
or something.
one could hope.
Well,
Um,
Never know.
no,
They were-
I know that- I
we're
know they won't
lucky,
do it.
we are lucky that they allow us to put, we just recently put those signs up. They let us put those bus stop signs, so I think that's a
Good
win.
concession.
Yeah. Cause that's kind of where they bring the carts in, and those cart guys don't like it most, but it's been great at least having those signs. But we had a meeting with Stout last week, and we talked about, what's been heard through this past month. And think, there were some complaints that came in, not through the submission form, but just people riding the bus. They had to wait another 17 minutes or so in between stops at 5:30 through 5:53. Kind of, that's the difference, about 17 minutes compared to before. But I think the more that you can see just in the ridership numbers, the more that is in here, the more people are understanding and using it. So I think in the grand scheme, we'll know after this second semester, where they do the annual report, where what could we improve on. I don't think they're going to say, hey, could you go to Walmart anymore? Now we got that, so we'll have a good understanding here every month that this goes on, and after a whole university year into this route.
But don't you think that maybe people that are waiting at 17 minutes, well, I'll just stay in the library for another 10 minutes, because it's not coming.
Yeah.
Be a little more like studying them.
That's what Darren said in our meeting too. They're used to being able to go out there, wait 2 minutes and hop on the bus.
Yeah.
And I think if, they just use that time, okay, the bus won't be here at 42 after, it'll be here at 5 o'clock on the hour.
Are you guys, pretty accurate on the time then?
Yeah, those times are easy to hit
Okay.
on the dot with wait times, especially too.
Okay.
The only route that gets tight is Walmart at 42 after the hour. So a minute or two late sometimes, depending on traffic and lights, but the only change that we're looking to make on this route is the first two departure times from that route would match up with the 53 and 56 to match the rest of these hours. Currently 41 after is Red Cedar Hall on the 4 o'clock hour, and 4:45 is the clock tower, but it still leaves at 5. Switching that to just match these will make it so Stout PM driver can take the community bus on that 4 o'clock loop, finish that loop normal, start this loop normal, and then it's not a 9 and 3/4 hour day for that driver. Doesn't change anything on this route at all. And that we're saving a half hour of second bus being on the road, pretty much overlapping for no reason.
Did I see a bus at like 8 o'clock last week? What was that?
8 p.m.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah, so that's this bus.
okay.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I've seen it at like 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock.
Coming through the east side, like
Yeah,
headed
yeah,
back to the shop.
Yep.
It was in front of the library. so
Yep,
I-
its last drop is 9 o'clock or 9:06 at Red
Yeah.
Cedar. So this exact loop, 5 to 9. The schedule.
Also,
So-
there was
Just keeps
was there a
running over.
mechanical issue that a couple weeks ago? I I was just in Jarvis looking out and I saw 3 buses.
Oh,
And I think
nope,
you.
that's normal.
Oh, okay.
So, there's always one pointing east on the opposite side of the road around 11 o'clock to 1 potentially.
Okay,
That's our break bus. So that community driver drives till 11, hops in that bus, does its hour lunch at, you know.
okay, I just
Um,
haven't seen it before.
Yep, so at the top of the hour, there's always 2 down there
Yep,
for a couple minutes. And then sometimes with that third face in the other
Okay.
direction. So that's what that is. It's called a Red Cedar bus. It's a second doorstop bus till 11. That driver does those 2 breaks for
Okay.
those 2 drivers and then hops back in that bus, finishes the day. Great question. Grant timeline. The only other ones on this is 11/6 presentation to city council. Correct?
yeah, sure.
Perfect.
I haven't done it yet.
That's what Pam sent out
Well, then, yes.
a
that's
couple
what's
weeks
happening.
ago. And then we had our October meeting with UW Stout last week. And that is it for that. Electric bus update, 10/6 email. Test battery was scheduled to be received in that last email last month, and it has been received for this month. So anything in blue is not copied on their email from last month. 2023 financials, just looking at through September, gained a bit in the bank for that. But our operations supervisor was gone for the month, so saw the savings there, and that is why. Okay, community awareness ideas. I'd like to start posting our ridership on social media. Our Facebook has been lacking. I don't see any potential issues with posting that. Don't know if anybody did. We had a transportation coordination committee meeting. It happens once every 4 years. I believe with Human Services and WisDOT, that was 2 Thursdays ago. And there are a lot of people from the community were there, Chamber of Commerce, Stepping Stones, Bridge to Hope. And I don't know if I'm missing something or why that we haven't ever been a part of the Chamber of Commerce, or if it's because we're a government entity, but if there isn't any issues with it, I think it'd be a great thing for us to join for transit, especially with how much we are involved in the public. And then being a part of that with your membership dues, you get to go to Meet Menominee, which is a university thing every fall. Talk about what we do. Maybe we've done this in the past, and either way, I think it'd be great for us to join. Any discussion about that?
Well, I think you're afforded maybe the opportunity too, to get into some of the public papers that they put around, you know, so you can get awareness out there that it exists and those kinds of things. And I think the Meet Menominee itself would be a great venue, since that's, you know, a pretty significant population of people to expose yourself to, you know, as far as ridership goes. And I mean, I'm around that particular building when that's going on, and it's highly attended. I mean, extremely highly attended. And so you can get exposed that way, you know, if it picks up 6, 8, 10, 12 riders a month, it helps it, you know, obviously. So yeah, I think it would be good to continue to explore it, the opportunity to do it, and where it fits with, like you said, the government rules and stuff. But
Aaron, are you
You
looking
know,
like,
is
why
it
aren't
county-
they
is
invited?
County a member of the chamber already, because I've seen them at the chamber banquet in the spring.
I think they are in
Yeah.
as a government service provider. Have you seen the police at the Meet Menominee?
Well, I think there's just a full opportunity, so there's some, there's digital newsletter that come out, Meet Menominee is fantastic, business after hours. I got one of those last month. I could see some connections there with transit and business, so.
Well, the chamber could have something like a ride the bus event.
Yeah,
Where the young professionals or whatever ride the bus to the, traditional populations. That, or non-traditional populations for bus ridership. Like folks in town that. Are, they could be riding the bus, so just stop by their house or whatever, to their jobs or whatever.
The young professionals trips to the different businesses. We've been contacted by Ashley about that, and I've kind of said no to that because of interfering with the private
Yeah,
companies that would, they paid Menominee Transportation to take them.
Yeah.
That's where I've seen issues, but on the side of, us paying them $200 a year to be a part of their organization as just part of our advertising, I think it'd be. I don't see any hiccups with that, but, yeah,
but they could promote, ride the buses during their schedule.
Yep.
Kind of thing.
absolutely.
And have a, cause that's, nowadays, that's a big part of most larger cities is folks don't drive their cars, they take the public transportation, and it's not a stigma to be a suited person on a bus.
And I think we're seeing that on that community route, and now more than ever too,
Okay,
and so
Good.
getting that out. Any other ideas? that anybody
Well,
have?
I'm gonna bring up what I brought up before, and again, probably the legalities of it will have to be explored, but. Wherever you go and you see public transportation or. They call it public transportation, maybe it's owned by a private entity that serves the public or whatever, but you see. Sponsors or advertisements on the side of the buses, you even see buses that are completely painted, like,
Yeah, the wraps.
yeah, the wraps that go on them and stuff, and. Again, I don't know what the legalities are for, government entity as far as doing that, but it would certainly seem like a nice way to supplement your income,
Mhm.
Get sponsorships where you sell it either yearly, every 2 years, whatever, whatever the options are, and. You could limit it, you could say, here's the size, you can fit 2 of them side by side on each side and 1 on the back, so you'd have 5 total on a bus. I know that the other issue is, do they get too, can you still notice the bus, blah, blah, I think people would quickly get used to that.
With a statement that says this is not funded by taxpayer money.
Yeah.
Done.
By county levy. Excel was gonna front some of the bill on doing the 2 electric buses on a wrap, some sort of that. We could see if, you're able to make some template where a square of that would stay open, so boom, you can put a 36-inch by 12-inch something in there pretty easy. That'd be able to be interchanged. Human Services wanted to pay for with some of the carry forward money or trust fund money that we saved last year towards doing the doorstop buses. But I said every, 6 out of the 9 buses fill in on that route, so they want to keep them pretty generic. So, I don't like a bus that says stout route on the side, like a few of the older ones do. Well, that can fill in on 3 different routes, so. Agility between them, but if they stay pretty consistent, I think it worked pretty
The
good.
stout route was magnetic.
Yeah. Crappy part, these things are all fiberglass.
Oh.
But the little
Well,
99-cent slip, acrylic slips is what we do.
Okay,
We double-sided tape on the side and just, the one bus doesn't
Well,
have
if
a
you build
key.
you build your size you're gonna use.
Yep.
Permanently put it on the bus.
Yep.
Now all you have to do is magnetic it to that or whatever, so you can change them. But
Yeah, or Eau Claire and a few of those others just have those, you know, spots,
Like-
rectangle spots that.
you know, I know it's private companies, but like, we just had Oshkosh here and the whole bus was UW Oshkosh.
Yeah.
It's like, when you see it, you think that they must own their own buses. They don't. The company did it.
Yeah, just wrap them for them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Sounds good, I'll mark
it's
that
something
down.
to throw out there to maybe explore and
You know, yeah, other forms of revenue that helps that local share, so.
then my only other question was, what's the feedback like with the rate change? Has there been much?
It hasn't been, it hasn't been too bad.
Okay.
A lot of people are buying the punch cards, which is taking
Yeah.
their rate 25 to 50% off.
Yeah,
We sold 4 punch cards yesterday alone, you know, that's 40
that's good.
to $60.
That was the purpose, right?
Yeah.
We voted was to try to push that and get more of them.
And I think it's taken a little bit of the riffraff that has, occurred on the bus with people, people ride it for how long they want or whatever.
Yeah.
And they don't take it seriously.
Yeah.
We do have a couple riders that, and I haven't figured out how to deal with this yet, that have ridden the bus for just hours on end. And one is this university student who they don't have to pay. But I feel like you need a destination. And it's not a big deal if there's 2 people on the bus, but there are hours that it's full. So those are the only times I feel like we have leverage to say, hey, I don't understand why, but it's not also our place to ask why.
It'll be interesting to look at other transit entities policies on if they have something like you need a
Yeah.
destination.
One help thing to deter that is where are you headed when you get on the bus? But sometimes it gets ignored and they just go
So-
sit down.
On the community route people, maybe a little grumbling, but overall participation isn't down and punch cards are being sold, so. That's pretty much a
Yeah.
wash, right?
Yep.
Okay.
No, it's, a little bit of ridership down, but the income is, increased from nothing to exactly what we were looking at for our goal. We wanted to bring around 6,000 a year into that, so I didn't track.
Sounds good.
Okay, well, so, this was sent over from, the clerk's department, just trying to get this shored up. And, so,
I know, Robin.
I didn't know if,
That's a while ago.
Yeah, a
With-
while ago.
with Gretchen taking over for Robin, if that went till the October 23, and then this is the first time I've seen this spreadsheet before, or if I did, it was 2 years ago. But he just wanted to confirm if people would like to continue serving on this, and then it would go into the executive meeting after this. So, I think,
Robin.
okay. And, we'll have to circle back with John.
I'll have to ask the
Um,
mayor and the administrator. to see
Okay.
what the plan was. But our decisions are made in April after the election for who's on committees, so they didn't mention. Or line up at all.
And Darren, did I hear that you maybe would fit into the county?
Yeah, I was originally appointed in the county, so I don't know how this
Okay.
is going.
What do you think that? Just gonna throw this out there, but do you think the title should be changed because of Stout's impact, population wise, is that rather than, I'm not saying replace that.
Yeah, that
But
was,
maybe get a city thing, but put a stout rep, you know,
I think they should just. in
cause it seems like you
general,
guys are meeting a lot, talking about, you know.
Their subsidy is the biggest that we have,
Mm-hmm.
and I think our impact of the rise, they should just have their own spot.
University.
Yeah, it should be.
yeah, there wasn't a formal acknowledgement of that, so it was always kind of an informal acknowledgement of trying to be a somewhat informal scout liaison as a county rep. There was a gap, but Keith McCartney used to kind of fill that role on this commission for years, so.
So I don't know, I guess I'd make a motion that if one's needed. I don't know
I don't- Yeah,
how, that we change the name to, I'm not saying don't have city citizen rep, maybe that's an additional one, I don't know, or. But I think that stout rep should be. UW stout rep.
Is this something that is able to be done today, or that I should put on the agenda for next month?
I thought
Put it
something
on
out
there.
there,
For next month. That's fine.
and then find out what we need. What we need to do it.
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
Figure that out and we'll,
put it on the next agenda. I mean, if we need to have a motion to change that to that or whatever.
You know, there's community makeup rules or.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what the procedure is to change that.
Andrew will know.
Citizen, one city citizen. There's 2 county citizens.
There's two.
1 city,
You just say, "Oh, we're not here,"
and then
should it, right?
And then maybe 1 county rep, 1 city rep, 1 stout rep, and. The city of Mount.
and that is all I had.
here.
All right. Any other questions for Austin? Number 7, consideration action done, 8, nothing. Next meeting is November 8th, same place, same time. We're adjourned. It's 8:30, we are calling the highway committee for October 11th to order. Roll call, everyone here except for Jerry Hartung. Approval of minutes for the September 13th meeting. Motion.
Make a motion. That we approve the meetings,
Second.
I can second that.
meeting minutes.
Motion's been made and second for the September 6th, 13th committee meeting. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Passes. Public comment, none? None for the chair?
None.
Okay, on to Dustin or whoever.
So, October 11th meeting, this is the. On the agenda today, we'll be going through some highway shop operations, engineering and project updates. The Union Pacific Railroad crossing maintenance, issues, we'll say. The 2024 GTA, estimate. Albright quarry materials and highway financials. I'll let Dan speak on the shop operations, kind of go through that, and then we'll go into the field stuff.
Yeah, as far as the shop operations, we went through and, on all our tape trucks. Calibrated the sanders, have them all set up and, ready to go. That's taken care of our part of our winter readiness program where we get, funding from the state for that. So those have been all taken care of, then we just have to turn the paperwork in. The 3, Chevy trucks that we've got, the 2500 that we use, we installed the strobe lights, radios. A couple of them are in use, well, in fact, all 3 of them are in the word, we're up and utilizing those. We have received confirmation that 2 of our 4 trucks that we ordered last year are in the state of Wisconsin. Hopefully that sometime next week they will be delivered down to Universal to get the equipment put on. Whether we see them yet this year is still under discussion. They have 40 trucks sitting there that belong right now, so hopefully they'll squeeze us in sooner than later. But the timeline is kind of, schedule is kind of up with, delivery of the trucks. The other two trucks, I talked to him yesterday, for the four that we ordered, it's gonna be after the first of the year, before we see the chassis, so. That's the biggest battle right now, is being able to get the trucks. Otherwise, as far as, we've just been working on power equipment, general maintenance, the trucks have been doing really well, triaxles and quads, we've been doing, a lot of paving, shouldering, stuff like that, with very few to, none as far as breakdowns. So, yeah, otherwise, just getting things ready for winter. Still working on power equipment. And it won't be long, as soon as we get done with the road construction, we'll be switching all the triaxles over. Get all the power equipment on. And, yeah, and that should be taken care of, but otherwise it's been pretty good. So,
So your state trucks have gotta be hitting calibrated. Does every truck of the county have to be okay by the department, inspected every year?
The ones that we run on our state roads, yes, the state.
But on county roads,
That's up to us.
oh, okay, they don't have to be inspected and pass DOT.
Well, they do. We inspect all our trucks with DOT inspection annually.
You have somebody in-house.
In-house and everything.
Okay.
We-
Are they certified then or?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
In fact, the state of Wisconsin is pretty lax on the certification, but if you have X amount of years, mechanical.
okay.
To do that. Some states require that you have to go through a training course and stuff like Minnesota, does, where to be certified, but it's, one of our senior mechanics is, does it. So we do that year round. Through, and then of course, fix up what's wrong.
Yeah.
So, but they all have annual inspection. And that gives you, things that you can fix, of course. But like I said, the new trucks are really helpful on that. They're pretty good, so. Other than recalls, we get a lot of emission recalls and stuff on them, really take the big deal. And that's fun. That's just fun. And, yeah, we did do some training and stuff here, or in the fall, training or back October 3rd. And that's taken care of, so I know you mentioned before about the chainsaw training. Rich could do that, get into that, so. But, yeah, otherwise, things are good, so. And I think I did say before that we did get our shipment of our fall shipment of our cutting edges of blades, so we're all back to the normal stock. We're getting every year. So we're setting good there.
I'm kind of glad that you didn't go to Baldwin last week. I think you would have been pretty jealous
Yeah,
of their highway department.
You go,
Oh, yeah, you can drive a semi in there and turn around with no problem. It's ridiculous.
I've already been jealous.
yeah.
But.
I don't think it's ridiculous. I think that's normal.
It would be nice if we had a lot bigger facility for parking at least, so we can keep our, equipment inside.
I think we're looking at that, and
And,
I'd be apt to have something more like the germ, or like the heating from the ground, or something, just not just cold storage for your trucks, so at least if there's snow, they can melt off a little bit, or they don't have to be up in like 75, or even 50 makes a big difference.
Yeah, 45, 50 makes a lot of difference.
yeah, we have millions of dollars worth of equipment sitting outside.
Yeah.
In the wintertime, we do move a lot of this stuff down to the old highway department on that, put it inside, so that helps, but it's not a fix, but it's, it's a lot of extra work doing that too, but so we try to keep stuff inside that we can, but when you're using it, it's pretty difficult.
We try to get everything we can under something if possible.
And that'll start here pretty soon too. We use de-water on the water trucks. I could probably get on that pretty soon. It's a big job.
Yeah, as I say, it's a big time to get everything moved down there and back in and It's tight quarters there too. It's not like it's a big building that.
Right, but it does help, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Our biggest thing is if we can come up with some type of a wash system or wash conveyor or something, you know, it's really. That's our biggest battle is fighting the salt. And the guys are using the underbody wash, that's what I'm talking for all, which. Is good.
Yeah, that seems like it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we did a side wash to it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so it'll actually wash on the side of the truck, when you drive through it, and you can turn around and back through the other way, of course, the other side.
Which is kind of nice, actually, get double the underbody.
Double the
Just
underbody,
that-
and then it helps to get the wheels and
Yeah,
everything
yeah.
else, anything we can kind of wash on. So, yeah, they are utilizing it. I don't know, we don't know for sure what we're gonna do when it starts getting colder here and all, we're gonna. That's still on the plan.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, price of fuel has dropped a little bit, that helps. So. Is there any other question? Question? And then you're more than welcome anytime you want to come out the shop or look things over or. More than welcome. Look at everything, so.
I wasn't here when you started. Did you talk about salt sand?
No, I did not. I was only that too. But I can.
I didn't know if you had any info. The salt sand operation is down right now because of this.
Yeah, I did. We rented the salt sand screener again this year, as we did the years prior from Area Equipment. And we got it all set up. We got it Monday morning. We got it all set up and they run a little bit of material through it and. There's two screens in it, one bigger screen and then one finer screen, and the finer screen let go. And we had an issue with it last year with the screen, and this year was supposed to be better, and it didn't. The problem that we have is you can't just go next door and get a screen for it. I was in touch with Aaron this morning again yesterday. They're gonna next day air the screens. We decided on going with the 2.5 millimeter wire with the 3/8 opening. That's what Toby bought it.
They should be going by Monday.
Yes, that's the plan. We should get that going Monday. And then we're just gonna have to figure out the part of the, you know, the rental part of it, everything else as far as getting that all straightened out. It's basically we lost this first week of not being able to do it. But we're still in good shape. A lot of times we don't start until first of November.
I was gonna say, there's.
We used to be hauling deer hunting week,
Yeah,
which
You know,
we've,
so
we've improved that a lot.
yeah, you know, trying to get started earlier when the weather's nicer. And,
Yeah,
yeah,
it's a lot
give
better
you
when it's
a little
not
more time,
raining.
so when things like this happens, you know.
You can work on it.
Yeah.
Instead of,
It's not. Yes.
Would that take, what, 2 weeks to do all the salt sand or?
Generally, that's kind of what we figured, around 2 weeks. Just
yeah, it
depending
goes a
on-
lot faster with these new screeners.
Yeah.
But last year didn't take quite 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So we got some time.
Yeah, yeah, and this is one of the new, it's a new screener, you know, it has 118 hours, I think, on it, so I mean, it's a nice machine, you know, you just have to keep the screens and get the screens, and next year we talked to them. Already, they're gonna have screens on it, and we thought, I thought they did this year, but, I thought wrong, I guess, because, but the thing of it is too, is the certain machines take 3 screens, so it's tough to keep. You know, everything on hand, and then these screens are just for, you know, fine, you know, like for the salt sand, so there's not a lot of them around. So, yeah, but we, hopefully Monday we'll get all, starting out a lot better off and get rocking and rolling better, so.
So what do you do with the byproduct? When it goes through the screens, must get some bigger rocks that come out, or, of course, I think you mentioned in there, there's been some there for years. You know, is there a market for it?
We just keep stockpiling it.
Okay,
you have offered it to Matthew, right?
We'll have that discussion.
Oh, you're talking.
Yeah, so, otherwise. That's what I'm saying.
Okay. Guess if it's up to me. We'll say the paving is complete, all the blacktop is down, we're done doing that for the year. Is nice. They are doing, right now, we're out on the interstate, we replaced some concrete Monday. From the 41 to the Wilson Creek Bridge in the westbound lane. And yesterday there were some little chunks in the bridge and a couple bridges, and then in the westbound lane, there were some small areas that we replaced with they wanted to just put blacktop in, especially by the bridges, because it flexes and bounces, and they've had issues with concrete there. Every year, we're always replacing it. And we've had a couple other spots where we've done it with asphalt. And it's still there, it lasts, so. Because asphalt can flex a little bit, so that's what we're sticking with out there right now. They're working on westbound inside lane today out there. So very little asphalt in that aspect, it's not paving, just doing some patches. We are in the process of, they finished the Z. I'd say a few minutes ago, they're loading up and heading to Q right now, Q and W. I'm hoping that'll be shouldered today, and then we'll do the township in New Haven tomorrow. I have some mowers going today. I know a lot of the north has been done. I know Boyceville sections have not been done. Gonna try to finish that up in the next 2 weeks.
Are they just doing one swipe or are they gonna?
One swipe and then intersections. If it's a smaller mower, they might do more. If it's one of our small ones. Would you like, I mean, normally we just do one swipe, some areas we try to do. It's really bad, they'll do a little bit more.
They were saying north on A,
Right,
that,
that one swipe doesn't get all the, like the
a lot of
brush.
sumac growing out, I guess.
So if you take 2 swipes, you get it on a small one, no big problem, there's it comes back at.
There's some guys, if it's really bad areas, they will take 2 swipes,
Okay,
so.
there's just comment on A that there was.
Yep.
A lot of sumac growing out quite far. Right now.
And that sumac is being a pain in the butt lately.
That's the problem with spraying herbicides.
It doesn't,
That's
Anything with
that's
cement.
the
Doesn't kill that.
yeah,
more of the brushy stuff comes through.
and the deer can hide sumac pretty good.
Yeah.
Well,
Man, that's so gross.
So we're wrapping up pretty good on our project side. I still have plenty of state stuff. I got some stuff I'm gonna have Bill doing. We got some ditching and reshaping of some areas. We have to do a little bit of, we don't have to, but we are doing a little bit of work for the DNR down on the Red Cedar Trail. That'll be tomorrow. Mainly, yeah, wrapping up our projects, getting everything shouldered. We'll have guys out patching, we'll be making salt sand, we'll be getting all that stuff distributed out to the shops. They'll have trucks to put sanders and spinners and augers in and all that stuff. We're in good shape, I'd say, that way. Just some odds and ends we want to get tied up before winter hits, and a lot of mowing, we'll have boom mowers out, and I want to get that. Try to schedule here in the next 2 weeks to get up on 64 with that rubber tire hoe on that mower. I'd like to get that out going.
Hopefully next week if we could, because I did tell them 2 weeks ago.
And let's try to plan for late next week.
64, I mean, brushing back somehow.
Yeah, we want to brush
I
back.
can't believe how much that grows up after a year.
Yeah, and we did. Full swipe on that not too long.
I know, that's what I say, I can't believe how,
Grows
I was
up
wondering if
there.
you're gonna get back and cut some of that down, but it's.
At the county line, we're gonna start there and mow
Yep.
as much as they'll let us do.
Mhm.
you said, or maybe Dustin said last month that, you know, there's a spot on W that's washing out under the, next to the
Yeah,
road.
that's
That's gonna be,
some ditching that we, and some shaping, we have riprap to put in there.
okay.
That will be, I'd say, in the next 2 weeks.
Is that on the east? It's gotta be on the east side of the road, but.
East side of the road,
Gotta be, but,
south S.
okay, cause I don't see it, but,
It's kind of right where, see the river, it kind of bends,
yeah,
comes in. You know where they park down in there?
Yeah.
Just south of that.
Really?
Yep.
I haven't seen it.
You can see if you stop there, you can just see it's kind of sloughed off. It's a little ways off the road, ain't out to the road yet, but we don't want it to.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
There's a
Farther
little
away from the road,
island out
better.
on the river.
Yep, I know where it is exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, park by the island and walk up and down, you'll probably see it.
Oh,
There's, maybe the grass is kind of hiding the spot.
I know with my loaded semi and combine, I kind of go around that spot a little now, but
Yeah,
like I'm sure Gary does on him. But. Yeah.
we may have had that. We did that slope repair on the interstate, maybe we had that done before. They did a really nice job on that. Bill Wickman is amazing on those slopes with the backhoe and did a great job. I know the state was very, very impressed. And dig that out. There's a spring right there. And as dry as our summer was, I mean, we didn't get a lot of rain, I didn't think, throughout the summer, and it was still pretty wet. And then the week later, we got all that rain. I'm glad we got that done before the rain hit, or else I don't think it would have went as well. But he is amazing in the backhoe. He did. I know the state was very, very happy with that. And then we got some more work done on that LFA, and there's still more money to put towards that. So we're finding more work on the state to do.
I don't know who to ask this question, but we do all the chip sealing, you come back and paint it, everything. How much can that road be rated on the pacer? Can you go up a couple of points from a 5 to a 6? You gotta rate all your roads. I mean, how much does that improve the rating to that road?
So typically rule of thumb is if it was a 5, the max we go would be a 7. If we were to make improvements.
Right there. You do quite a bit of that, don't you?
7's not bad in my mind.
Yeah,
Mhm.
As far as I'm concerned, you never get a 10 unless you go look at Z and Q right now.
I don't know, the double B chip seal that, I still think it's still a 7, I think it's still a 5, so that thing is rougher than a freaking
Oh, the one
Double B.
Colfax.
double B from, no,
Yeah.
right by Cedar Falls.
Oh, yeah.
Stires, by Stires, I think you know what.
Yeah, I
But
know.
from Colfax out to Fox Cinema School, that's really nice. You put an overlay on that, I believe. That was really bad before, so that really makes it decent. You know,
You guys have any other questions? Right, I know I got guys coming back. I gotta distribute them out, but do you have any questions? Dustin?
Dustin?
Well, he might, I mean,
maybe he's just too easy to work for. No.
no. I think we're all pretty easy to work for. I think we all are.
They goes a lot better.
My question is to you, is was your Kubota able to handle that pumpkin?
No,
It wasn't? I was wondering if you were able to lift
I
it.
was gonna, and then I said, no, I'm not even gonna try it. I can lift them, but they're not once I put.
I was wondering if it was a big enough
Mhm.
tractor to lift that,
I could lift them up, straight up, but I
but
knew
just to carry them.
yeah, but he wanted to put, put pallet under him, and then I didn't have the quick attach fork.
Yeah.
Then it doesn't lift as much. I think I could if I had the quick attach fork.
Yeah.
but
I was wondering,
The 400-pound one I could, but
how big was the biggest?
I can't let that go.
Oh, you can't say because they gotta guess it?
Yeah,
Oh, see, I tried.
I don't. I don't.
let's just say it's a lot more than 426 pounds or 23 pounds.
Okay. I don't know where they taking that to, where they taking them to?
Go back parade on the 28th, the big one will be on, so the reverse
Yeah.
parade.
Do you have any other questions, anything?
No, that's just.
All right,
Thanks.
sounds good.
Catch you later.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Call me later.
Yeah, I'll put it up by the tree there.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, I got it. We'll go into our engineering project update, so let Isaac fill us in on what we're doing on that end.
Yeah, our projects, like Brent said, starting to get wrapped up on all the projects. County Road Z down in O'Galley. That 3-mile project from County Road C to well, just about to County Road Y, it's 90th Avenue. They paved it, 2 weeks ago, well, they finished up last week, and then, are completing the shouldering, finishing up that this morning. So that's what those two pictures are from County Road. While they're paving. Painting should be coming later this week or early next week for Z. County Road B, just out here north of X 45, from highway. Oh, no, this is the other section. So County Road B from Packer Drive to Double B, 3 mile section. That was completed by Monarch, did the paving. We were doing the hauling for Monarch, but Monarch did the placing, and compaction. That turned out really nice, I think, compared to what it was.
Everybody should very confident in that one.
Yeah.
We're currently going through the invoices on it right now and see the dollar signs. It's like,
They better be nice, huh?
a lot of money invested in that 3 mile stretch.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Mhm.
And a quick, easy fix, really. I mean, it's quick, easy.
Exactly. I mean, it just give you an understanding on what road construction costs are, and like I said, we did a simple pulverize and repave on it. So,
That one was a different mix, right? A little bit,
heavier duty
more
mix.
oil, yeah. And also the Q and W project up by Downing, that, again, we had Z and Q and W kind of finishing up at the same time. But that was last week, they finished paving up there. So that's what those two pictures are. The one on the left, there's the intersection of Q and W looking north. So you can see how they put the W out. So it's more of a T, you know, it kind of defines the intersection, the stop condition on W. And the other one is on the south end of the project. They're looking up towards the intersection. So yeah, they'll be shouldering out there today and maybe tomorrow. And then painting coming up as well. So
So that makes a big difference. You come out to a T, as you get older, it's harder to turn, you know, come out at an angle. To look around like that for older people like that, it's a lot easier. If you're right there and you look both ways, no problem. As far as safety for me anyhow.
Sure enough.
yeah, you kind of see that in that picture down there, on the bottom right, there's kind of like a little green island now. When this light comes out, well, that used to just go straight.
Right.
Okay.
So now we kind of define that intersection, and
Yeah.
we may have to put some reflectors there just because. I hate to say it, you get kids that, the pickup trucks that
Yeah,
like to go off-roading.
to cut the corners.
Yeah, so we'll probably put reflectors there for a couple years to deter that from happening, and they can run into those.
Mhm.
So, but to go back to the County Road B project, from 1229 to Packer Drive. So we posted today in the Dunn County News,
It was in there.
the County Road B portion from I-94 to Packer Drive. So that will be advertised for the 3 consecutive weeks. And bids are due November 7th for that project. Surprising, I actually started getting phone calls yesterday before it was even advertised, from contractors. So that, we do believe there's gonna be a lot of interest,
Okay.
for both projects. The County Road B project from 1229 to I-94, that's getting let here November 14th. That goes through the DOT system, so the DOT takes care of all that, and they basically say this is what the cost was based on the estimate, and they'll either negotiate or figure out what's gonna happen on that end.
The other one, we're gonna see the bids and we'll have to make a decision.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so like I said, the north half, north of the interstate there, that's a local project, so we will be doing everything on that, construction oversight, payments, everything. We are gonna have to hire a contractor to do the construction oversight. We just don't have the time and the staff to do it. So unfortunately, that estimated cost has that included in it. So rule of thumb is usually your project cost is 10% of it's probably the project oversight. So if you got $4 million, there's probably $400,000 construction oversight on that.
I think that's not enough time, or
We,
He doesn't have the time to sit there every day from May to
but
November.
we're hiring another guy to supplement him, so then there should be, he should have plenty of time.
If that goes through, there's a possibility, but. Obviously with a new individual, if we were to hire somebody, I don't know what experience they would have and whatnot, so. To rely on that is a shot in the dark.
So are the bids that you'll get on this project, are they, like, can they see each other's bids?
No,
They're all sealed, right?
it's an all sealed bid, so
Do they have to be?
yes.
Like
After,
state law or something, or-
yeah, they need to be sealed, just so there's no, what do you wanna call that? Contractor. Knowing what other one's bidding, and so then they can reduce it, or, yeah, it's
So they
just,
just keep raising them. Well,
Yeah.
I'll raise mine, you raise yours.
it can go the other way too.
people have gone to jail for it, so that's, everything's sealed, and then after everything is opened up. Then they will announce the bids. We're, even talking to the engineers, we're actually anticipating reduced cost from what the estimate was.
Because of more
That's
competition?
why I asked, because it's like,
Bidding in November for next year is probably the best you can get.
Because they
they're-
get their
they're-
schedule all made out.
They're
everything?
looking for project work for next year right now,
Mhm.
and this is the best time to do it. So we got really lucky with that. I'm not saying it's gonna be millions of dollars difference,
No,
but
whatever, yeah.
if it saves 250,000 at the end of the day, that's
Mhm.
a positive. So. But we'll have more information in November here. I won't have the bid results probably at our November meeting, but December I'll probably mention it to you. What it came in at. Bid openings for the November 7th one will be at the engineering.
Those are two pictures, they're of, Z coming.
Yeah, that's County Road Z.
Yeah, 'cause I didn't recognize it at all.
Yeah, and it's, as you can see in that upper right, upper left-hand picture there, that we apply tack oil between the
I
layers
see
of
that
asphalt.
sometimes. Is
That's
just,
what- It's just to help to bond it together.
Okay,
Does it need to be needed? No, but it's a added security. To put
I think
oil,
I seen that over at Baldwin. They
Yep.
drove back there, they had some oil, as they were laying it before they laid it down.
Yep. and that's the same oil that we put on our chip seal roads,
Oh, okay,
so it's the same oil. We apply it ourselves, so it's pretty cost effective and. Not at the end of the day, it might have $2,000-3,000.
so do you have to heat it up then to keep it flowing, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah, I have not seen the finished product, but this is the first time I've seen these pictures, so Brent actually ran out there this morning to get these pictures. So. He's an okay photographer.
Hey, looks like a good job there.
So, I just wanted to mention the Union Pacific debacle that we had. So obviously, Union Pacific Railroad, which, runs kind of parallel to the interstate from all the way to Knapp, through Elkbound. That's the Union Pacific, route. They came through, redid maintenance, did the concrete panels there you see at County Road H, they redid that. We did not know this was going to happen. We saw the panels being dispersed at all these crossings, but there was no communication whatsoever on their end. I actually received a phone call from the village of Elk Mound on a Sunday asking what's the status of these closures. Union Pacific just took it upon themselves to not notify anybody and close 4 or 5 different closures over by Elk Mound. Nobody knew where to go, and it was just a
Wow.
huge debacle.
Yeah, it was a mess.
So I ended up getting the DOT involved. As you can see, this is the workmanship that they did. We knew that these were taking place literally the day of, is when they basically notified us that this was happening. And it was awful work. I mean, just absolutely awful. County Road H up there, we actually had semis getting hung up on the tracks.
Oh.
Low boy semis. As you can see, putting in a little 3 to 5 foot approaches when you raise the track 3 inches is not sufficient. So the DOT contacted the OCR, which is the Commission of Railroads in the state of Wisconsin. They actually put a work order and stop operations order. So they basically couldn't perform any work in the state of Wisconsin until they fixed these crossings.
So the state does have a little power then.
Correct.
Okay, I thought the railroad just kind of ran like your roughshod.
And that's, I would say that's the railroad mentality,
Mhm.
is we have the more power than you and we do whatever we want. That's not the case. So that's, I think it opened up their eyes, and I hate to say it, I don't know if Union Pacific ever wants to come through Dunn County again.
But I gotta admit that Highway B now out there,
That was good.
after 40, that's really nice now.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I
better than,
pulled down not knowing how it's gonna be, you know.
The first time,
Mhm.
all went airborne.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, there's people that did, especially in the dark. I mean, you didn't.
we were out there and we were surprised trailers were staying on cars, and like, holy man, people are Dukes of Hazzard it up.
On the back of the trucks, you know, going airborne.
So yeah, Isaac and myself spent a lot of time in the last 2 weeks dealing with this. We're still dealing with it. Obviously they came in, redid all of the county crossings that looked like that. They tore all the asphalt out, repaved it. And I want to reiterate, there was no cost to the county to do this. I know we were getting some questions on Facebook, like, county should have did it right the first time, and yada, yada,
Yeah,
yada,
I got
wasting
emails
tax
on too.
dollars again, yeah. We had no cost involved with this, was not our doing. So. Like I said, turned out well. Isaac was babysitting them out in the field pretty extensively. So. Apparently that's what you gotta do.
Was that a local contractor or was that somebody from out of the area?
So Union Pacific does all their rail stuff, so they do the actual rail, the timber, what do you call those?
Ties?
Timber ties, and then the concrete panels, they do that work themselves, then they subcontract all the asphalt work. So it was a subcontractor out of Minnesota that came in and did it. But
Cause
they
you
know.
see on YouTube sometimes where these, somebody's get, you know, hung up and train comes and
Boom.
yes. Boom, you know.
Yeah, apparently it wasn't good in Elk Mound there. There was a low boy semi that got hung up and there was scrape marks and it.
I bet he liked that.
Ooh,
You getting hard on the trailer.
it's hard on the old,
Yeah. But yeah, so
That's good then.
it looks like no. Going into the general transportation aids, so AKA the gas tax that we get. So we just received the 2024 estimated calculation for Dunn County. We did see a decrease in our GTA for approximately $2,000. Doesn't seem like a lot, but it's still a reduction when costs are going up. So almost $1.7 million is what we receive at the county. Obviously, based on if you look at my 2024 budget that we proposed, just to do general maintenance, all the repairs, crack filling, all that stuff, it's $3.5 million. So it's half of what we typically need, if not more. Just to support the road infrastructure and maintain it. So I don't know how the calculation works. Been in meetings where they go through these calculations and you have to be a mathematician and a wizard and whatnot to figure out what calculations go into this. The one thing I can tell you though is a lot of it is based on how much money you put in your infrastructure. So if we don't put money into our infrastructure, our GTA goes down. It's based on a 6-year average. So like I said, if we don't want to invest in transportation and fund, in our roadway system, GTA goes down. So, that's one big thing I can tell you of how that calculation is obtained. So like I said, there might be a county, and just take for instance, Eau Claire, they have the same amount of road miles as we do. At the end of the day, they might get $3 million in GTA because they're investing more into their infrastructure.
Is that just for roads or is that for building their new shop or their?
No, it goes into your operational expenses for, road construction, maintenance and traffic operations. That's what it's intended for.
Strictly for the roads and.
So what we do is we put it into our maintenance. So
Okay.
our crack filling or seal coating, that's where it's allocated. So that's what it should be used for. And we gotta show this every year. We gotta basically where the money went, how it was spent, annually.
Seems like a lot of paperwork, doesn't it, to keep up what they want?
Yes, and if you wanna ask Sarah, she gets to deal with the end of the year accounting stuff. What we have to go through on the state system is, yeah, let's just say it's a lot of fun. Going into the Albright Quarry materials, so I just put together, the county owns the Albright Quarry, so if you're all familiar with that, it's a quarry off of 730th Street, just north of County Road B, if you're driving towards Colfax. We own a facility, I believe it's 53 acres. When it was purchased, I don't know. That's something I haven't looked into. But we're in the process of running out of materials unless we keep going down and dealing with water. We're already at the water table right now. But as you can see, we have a pile of materials, our 5/8 inch screened aggregate that was stockpiled in 1996. It's labeled county or labeled B in that picture. That's where it is. As you can see, that's the only sand material that we have left in that quarry. And like I said, unless we go down, and our operations, how we mine it now would not be appropriate. We would have to get other pieces of equipment in there and dealing with that. So we're anticipating there's probably 5 to 7 years worth or more, maybe 10 years worth of sand sitting under that pile of stockpiled material. So we have 3 options. We either need to move it from its current location to the same quarry, just move it in the same quarry. Obviously, there's a cost to that. I don't necessarily want to do that. I want to, if we're going to haul truck, if we're going to put it in a truck to haul it, we either use it or we use it. Just to move it from one spot to the other is just not economical.
Because a sand mine's gotta have a reclamation plan.
Yep.
Is that the same thing for county? Do we have to
Yes.
say how are you gonna,
Yeah, so every year we have to submit that to land
Land water?
conservation.
Okay.
Yep. So we have a reclamation plan on file.
So where's the black dirt that come off first?
Well, not back there down there, I don't think.
It's usually the black dirt is on the perimeter of it, so we have it stockpiled right at the
Yeah,
our
okay.
border.
Okay.
I did reach out to what we believe that material was screened for, and like I said, it was prior to me being here. And most people actually, we believe that was screened for making cold mix. So years ago, the county used to make their own cold mix, in particular at our ferry pit that was up by Colfax, the 170 and W there. Which I wish we had that quarry yet. But That's what we believe that material was used for, because it's not it's more sandy. It's nothing we would use to put on a roadbed. I did reach out to Monarch about the possibility of purchasing it. They are interested in purchasing it. We do have a price tag when it was, screened in 2000 or 1996 of $2.41 per ton. They have said we will purchase it for $2.41 and whatever the cost is to truck it out of there to their facility. They would pay for that as well.
Do they have their own, like you, end loader, the loader, or? would
We
to-
have all that. We would charge them,
Okay,
charge whoever for it. We do, obviously that's a screen material. It's got a cost. We can't just give it away. We could utilize it. We do have, some projects that are particular that we have proposed in our 5-year plan. That we could utilize for maybe shoulder widening, stuff like that, fill material. It's not ideal, but it would work. The problem is it's not happening next year. It's more into the year 4 or 5. So at this point in time, I need to get this pile moved either this year or next year at the latest, and we just don't have the need to utilize it for a project until year 4 or 5. So like I said, I'm looking at the possibility of selling this material and at least, recouping the cost we have into it, and then whatever cost to transport it out of there. I was looking at a possibility of maybe putting it on an auction on Wisconsin surplus and say this is selling it that way and have everybody come and fair shake, and we would load it out and
yeah,
whoever wants to transport it out of there.
but it seems like the price in 1996 should be a lot more at today's what it's worth.
Yeah, so
Everything else has gone up too much.
Right.
I mean, if you were probably looking at today's, you'd probably looking at probably $4 or $5 a ton
Yeah.
to screen that
Mm-hmm.
today.
I think your $2 something is,
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying is we could look at it as just to recoup our costs into it. And sell it at that cost, and then whatever transportation, so maybe that might be an extra $2 a ton. So we might have $4.50 invested when it's all said and done, if we were to sell it. If that makes sense.
So we'd be trucking it?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So when I spoke to Monarch, like I said, they would like to have it at their asphalt plant. If they were to purchase it, we would haul it from there to the asphalt plant. And then at the end of the day, they would charge us to buy the cold mix material from them.
So we haul it down to the extra 45 here.
Yes. So like I said, if I had to guess, to transport, like I said, it'd maybe $2.50 a ton added on to the actual cost.
how long would it take and how many truckloads would it take? Lots?
25.
Yeah, it would probably take a couple weeks. Probably 2-3 weeks. Transport that out of there. But it would be great fall work, to keep our crews busy and generating revenue, so.
And they would use it for cold mix, and it's kind of
Yes.
say we're looking for.
Yeah, they took a sieve analysis of it and they were interested in purchasing it then. I
And
will
that's
have
the
to,
closest cold mix plant. I mean, Haas won't be interested over it.
well, that's the thing I was talking to Sarah about, is I might have to look into for county policies, selling it directly to someone and not.
Without advertising?
Yeah, without giving everybody a fair shake. Sure. That's what
I mean, there's only 2 people that are gonna be interested in it, but.
yeah, like I said, that we think it's a more of an asphalt material for making cold mix is what it was intended for. But like I said, the individuals that did it are no longer here, so we have no idea. But like I said, I'm exploring our options, and at some point in time, we'll be looking at asking for more money to either expand our operations or out there, or to buy another quarry, or look at something. you know, for salt.
So what does it cost us to get shouldering material?
So our, if we utilize our own, it's $5.50 a ton out of our fender pit.
Okay,
On average, if we were to buy it from a quarry, it can go from $6.50 to $9.50 roughly a ton.
okay.
Kind of in that range, depends on where it's at, exactly.
Yeah.
Has somebody done like the fender pit, has somebody done like, this is how much more materials left in this?
Fender's big.
Are you talking the salt sand pit or fender pit? Or fender pit is where we do the lime rock, we crush our
The
lime
lime
rock.
rock one.
We have not, but will it get me through my career? That's what I'm going for. I hate to say it, but
That's pretty, there's a lot there, lots of.
there's quite a bit. Like I said, what we have available is probably twice as big as what we actually have mined currently.
So is
And
the fender pit, is that the one that's,
where the old Lucas School used to be,
to the north or to, right at,
right south of the old Lucas School.
south of it?
Like
that
literally
road
it
going right up
touches,
in there.
touches.
Yeah, I'm
the
just gated there.
property.
Yeah.
So what's one off of 29 to the right, goes north, just past like.
That's a milestone quarry.
Milestone.
Used to be Kramer, but
Used to be
milestone.
Kramer Hills, that's the name I saw it.
Yeah, so milestone owns all the quarry area.
Gotcha. Just curious.
But if you're down to the groundwater up to Albright, there's no way to get the sand out, it'd be just fighting it, right? Or a way to.
You would have,
de-water it?
you would have to bring in dredging equipment, and we
Yeah,
don't have that.
no.
Can it be done? Yes, it's just, we would be at the mercy of a contractor to come in and make it for us then.
Well, you think with the red cedar, that's where all the sand is, like along the river,
It,
there's
and
gotta be
that,
some places where a guy could get
and
it.
see that's the perfect material, cause it's more rocky, so it's more coarse. I mean, you can't just go and start digging a hole in our backyard, cause that sand might be too fine. And you throw it on the road and it just blows off.
Yeah.
You want that coarse aggregate sand, and right along the Red Cedar River is perfect for that. So we know of a few people that are on the Red Cedar.
Yeah. I know they are.
But yeah, like I said, if there's a way that maybe we could expand our operation, that'd be something we'd have to explore with land conservation and.
But the way it sounds like you still have 5-10 years left on that.
I would say 5 to 10 years at that facility, if we can move that pile.
Sure. Okay.
So, I did speak with Monarch about because they own 80 acres right next to us, and they don't utilize it. It's like I said, it's a sand quarry.
Okay.
They're not in that business,
Yeah.
but they will not sell property that they already own.
Oh,
Will not. I've asked and they will not sell it. There is a possibility that we could mine sand out of it, but obviously it's at a cost.
Yeah.
And there's more of the legalities going into it. They'd have to get their lawyers involved and all that stuff. I did ask about the possibility of mining some of the material out of their quarry this year, and they shot that down just of the time frame.
So we have enough to mine for this year, saying.
We do.
And then, but going forward, it would be a problem.
We're finding every
Yeah.
possible nook and cranny on that quarry right now to get salt sand through this
how much
year.
land is there? How many
I
acres?
think it's 53 acres.
That's a pretty big chunk. though.
Well, yeah, I think we should definitely, find out alternatives if we can sell it.
Yeah.
We'd like to see a little more, but hey, whatever we can get.
Yeah, and like I said, I gotta go through that process.
Yeah.
But can't the county go through eminent domain sometimes? If it really came to first come to shove?
Not on a pit like that. I mean, if you're doing road projects,
There you
yes,
can,
but that's the last thing you wanna do, cause
Oh.
it's bad blood.
yeah,
So you'll do everything
especially
in
when you
your
gotta
power.
work with them on like a lot of
Yeah, I was gonna
projects.
say, you have to work with them the rest of the time. So.
Yeah, I know, like the Albright's own property just to the south of us, it's farmland,
Yeah.
irrigated farmland, and it's like, well, you know,
Yeah.
obviously in today's world, nobody wants to sell or give up land. And what that cost would be, don't know. But at some point in time, like I said, we're gonna have to go down that path of
Sure.
options, finding options if we have to relocate the quarry, if we have to try to expand the quarry, if we gotta.
I can imagine, yeah, I know what Haas is paying for that type of land, so yeah, it's up there.
That's why I was looking back, if we just would have had that ferry pit yet, that would have been an option. I think there was a lot of sand sitting there. But here's what it is.
I thought we were told there's no sign.
Yeah, I thought it was just junk, so.
That's what we were told. Just saying.
Yeah,
Township likes it though.
no, but
Yeah.
they do.
Yeah. What we told that?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, you don't need it for any reason.
Absolutely nothing like that.
Yep. But we'll go into our highway financials. So the number, like I said, what I look at is that in the middle there, total 2023 projected. So that's our overall, we're projecting a $3.2 million budget surplus based on our projection and the current spending. Obviously, our B project, we just got the invoices from Monarch on that. I don't remember what it was, $1.2 million just in their cost.
Yeah.
1 point somewhere around there.
Nice.
So obviously that's not included in here currently. But we do have that in our projections. But you can't see that in our September spending. That's currently there. There's a list of our expenses. We're anticipating that $14.3 million worth of expenditures. And there's our revenues. We're anticipating right around that 17 million for projected revenue. Any questions on that? I will put in, I did add this into it. You did not see that. I added this in here this morning. But last week, we went through our highway budget again. Round 2 of our budget. Originally, the original budget that you all saw, we did not have any of our equipment utilization into that overall budget cost. When you start looking at the overages and the questions like, we already own the equipment, so why do we charge ourselves for it? Well, we spoke to couple individuals who do a lot of budgeting and for highway departments. That is a standard procedure, is you charge yourself. We basically, the highway department acts like we are the contractor for the county.
Right.
Depreciation, but it
Yes,
is.
so we have to charge ourselves to be able to purchase other equipment and operate. So we did take that into consideration. We went through our entire budget. Went through our county construction costs, county maintenance, winter maintenance, all that stuff. As you can see, it increased our overall budget to $6.5 million over budget. Right around that 19, I think it's like $19.2 million budget request. So what I did is I looked at how can I reduce that as much as possible. I just reduce some of these things there in our construction and maintenance costs. Originally, that county shrunk double V project from triple V to V. We originally had an estimated cost of $1.3 million. Unfortunately, I scrapped that idea of widening the road, doing all like our County Road Z project. We're gonna just replace the culverts, wedge and overlay it. To try to reduce that cost as much as possible. It reduced it to about $450,000 in reduction. Isaac and I, we were kind of thinking, it's like, do we want to invest $1.3 million on a road that probably maybe sees 50 to 100 cars a day? Obviously, is this the right thing to do? Will we get 10, 15 years lifespan out of it? Yes, that's what we're looking at, as a cost savings. We would be proposing to put a 2-inch overlay on it instead of a typical 1.5, just based on the condition of the roadway. We would replace the culverts. We do have a box culvert. Well, it's not a box culvert, it's a bridge. It's a 19-foot span bridge. That we had to load post because of the condition. So Isaac has been kind of running through some numbers. We were looking at the possibility of just replacing it with 3 concrete culverts, like 48, 42 inch, concrete culverts.
So is there money from the state, bridge aid or whatever? I thought that
So the
20 and less, isn't that what you get? Or
So
something?
anything that's on the town level,
Oh, but not.
so not on the county. So the county provides the bridge aid for the
Okay.
towns. So we can't be included in that. Is the cost that we had $450,000 reduction, that included replacing that structure of, I think about $100,000 we had estimated to replace that structure. We are gonna have to go through some of the culverts and take a look at them, because that road, I have no idea when it was done. It originally was probably 40 some years ago, and I'm sure we thrown overlays on it. We've done everything like that, but we know of one other culvert upstream of that particular bridge structure. I think it's a 7-foot diameter, 6 foot, somewhere around there.
Yes.
So we may have to replace that as well, if we're gonna do it the right way. But like I said, we put in the budget that estimated cost, I think about $150,000 to replace the culverts. Some of the maintenance costs to try to reduce that, I reduced the seal coating, approximately 10 miles of seal coating. We're gonna do less than original. That saved us about 200,000. Crack filling, we're gonna reduce that, brushing, shouldering, guardrail, drainage, everything. So it saved about another $450,000 right there, or so 400, I think. We had all those up. But
That's
yeah,
almost, like $1 million that comes off the budget surplus or budget over.
so just to put it into perspective, for our equipment utilization, what we charge ourselves, it would be approximately $1.5 million.
Okay.
So
You're trying to reduce it $1 million a year, so.
So does that put you in good grace with the accounting for Dunn County then? Doing your share to reduce the.
We're still way over.
They're still gonna ask for more?
we're still a black eye in the
Oh.
county. And like I said, I'm sure there's gonna be conversations at the exec committee today. I don't know I haven't even seen what's being presented, but. Like I said, I'm trying to do as much as I can to reduce it, and unfortunately that County Road B projects, that's what's eating it up.
Yeah.
And being status quo with our revenue sources for the last 23 years, this is proof in the pudding. What's happening is. I did reach out, so I did send an email to the WCHA yesterday. To have a survey to all 72 counties. I wanted to know what their 2024 proposed budgets were for all 72 county highway departments. How much borrowing, how much levy they get. So that's what I got a survey going out to all 72 counties, so we'll see who responds and who doesn't. Hopefully I'll have that information here in a week or so. But I am curious, like I said, I do know Eau Claire borrows over $5-6 million a year just in highway. Their operating budget is right around $20 million. So the 19.2 that I requested isn't out of the ordinary. So I just wanna bring that,
Do you know how they borrow that? I mean, 5 million years, that rolling every 5 years, they're paying it back?
so they're doing
10?
short-term borrowing.
So 3.
So I don't know the
3 to 5.
details
But they're
of
still
it.
gonna pay it back sometime.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm just wondering, because, like I say, if you borrow 5 million a year, So let's say you're on a 5-year payback, you're technically borrowing $25 million and it's rolling every year. But I'm just kind of curious how they're paying that back. Didn't Tremble borrow a plan?
Yeah, I don't.
They bonded a bunch a couple years ago, I know.
So by reducing the amount you're gonna spend, is that gonna affect the general transportation aid because you're spending less?
County Road B is gonna help us out there.
It, I would say no, because if our budget, let's say they take a 6-year average, let's say our budget was $12 million, 12 million, that's what we were investing in our roads, and now we went up to 19 million. And we actually invested that into our road infrastructure, our GTA should go up.
Okay.
What that is, like I said, that's why if
But if every
I
other
could, I
county.
could look to see what everybody, all the counties' GTAs are, and I have not looked into that yet, but I do believe Eau Claire's is double what ours is. And like I said, they're investing $20 million in the roads every year.
But what I don't understand, Randy, if they're borrowing $5 million. When you pay it back, wouldn't that become a part of your budget for that year then?
Yes.
You know, so I don't know, you know what I mean?
If you borrow 5 million every year, you gotta pay it back every 5 years, so
Right, it's not a rolling
No.
payback.
that's, doesn't make sense. to me.
Because then you have to come up with 25 million of that year's budget just to,
Every year you pay back 5 million.
Right.
Yeah.
okay.
So it doesn't make, I don't know.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, so if you borrow, obviously you levy for it, so.
Right, then you can put it on your
it's not part of the levy,
the-
it doesn't go against your,
Oh.
levy cap.
right. levy.
Yeah,
But
so
you can put it on
basically,
the
the borrowed money would be paid for by the taxpayers
Yeah.
on levied money.
Right,
Because
and
you
that's
pay
all-
it back to budget, that makes sense then.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
it makes sense. To do it that way, actually, if you think about the levies and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we're capped, I mean, we obviously, we have a levy limits, but
Mhm.
transportation, you can levy above and beyond that. If that makes
Okay.
sense.
Guess I did not know that.
Mhm. Yeah, that's the key to that whole thing. You can do it that way, that's why we do it that way. That's why we've always taken a levy away from the highway and borrowed money against the highway, for the highway. That's why we've always done it that way in the past years.
But then it's paid back by the whole county,
Yeah.
Yes.
you know. Not just highway department.
Yeah, so like I said, there's more information to come on that, and I just wanted to present that since we did have a discussion about that from previous, but we did rework it. So. That's all I have on. And
Guess any other questions on reports? Otherwise. Consideration for actions, approve vouchers.
The only question I had on the vouchers was if there was a payment for the Albright pit and a payment at the Defender pit. So what was that for? Was that just the what we charged them or it was expense? I thought I went through the vouchers and you had something there. If I can find it. I had it on the computer. And that's,
The pit license.
but was a bill for like 36,000 for the Albright, but then a big one for vouchers for the,
was that the vouchers or the POs?
I thought it was, you know. I think it's on expenses, you had the Red Cedar pit was $35. The Fender pit was 316,000. Albright
so
pit
the-
was 56.
Those are our annual permits that we have to have for air emissions.
It
So,
cost how much?
yeah, so every year, so if we own a quarry, we're producing aggregate, we have to pay the DNR basically for the air pollution that we run up. Yeah, based on how much material is screened out of that quarry.
They want their share.
Maybe it'd be a good idea to buy some monitors and say, hey, we got the figures right here, it's not costing that much.
Everybody who owns it has to do it
Oh.
regardless. So,
We all want a piece of the action, don't they?
No?
Yeah,
One question I have on the vouchers, highway road material, I see you've got two different guys, what does that mean?
you're
Oh,
like Travis Bramer.
yeah, right,
So that was, hay bales for
oh,
mulching
okay,
for our projects.
okay,
So they're local.
that's fine.
Wherever we can find it is where we get it from.
That's fine.
how much you paying?
I honestly don't know. Brent takes care
Justin,
of,
do you wanna know?
That's not a big deal.
I
Um,
think $4.
Currently, when I see the tags for payment, it looks like we're paying $4 a bale.
Gee.
Thank you.
So yeah, might have a lot of mold on it, but
Yeah, it's just for, yeah,
we're just throwing it on for your own seed.
Sure.
So,
I'm impressed that you could find it that fast.
Yeah.
Number.
good,
Yeah.
good.
she's on SAP all the time. Aren't you, Sarah?
Anything for you guys.
Otherwise, we need a motion.
I move you approve the vouchers.
I'll second that motion.
Motion's been made second, any discussion, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Alright,
Any opposed? Motion approved. 5-year plan.
Well, like I said, this is gonna be another sticker shock for everybody. So put together a 5-year plan from 2024 to 2028. The big reasoning for this is, we're currently working on our state funding, federal funding grant projects that we're applying for. As well as our LRIP, which are local road improvement, projects. So we have to have all that information presented in a 5-year plan before we can apply for these projects, obviously. So a lot of this stuff is coming due here October 27th, so Isaac is working diligently on that. But what I did here, and I just wanted to bring this to your attention. Obviously, we've said it numerous times that we have 425 miles of roads and 20-year lifespan of a road. We need to be doing 20 miles of road, 20 to 25 miles of roads each year to get in that 20-year lifespan.
Mhm.
Obviously, you can see it doubles our construction costs. So what we levy personally, right now, we levy $3.7 million in construction. To do 20 miles of roads, you need almost 7 million, you need $7 million basically to do 20 miles of road. So, obviously, I put it in the caveat here, this is all contingent upon budget and dollars allocated, so I'm not saying we need to approve it and say we're gonna be shooting for $6.7 million in 2025. But I wanted to just show you as a highway committee, to get to that 20-year lifespan, we have to invest roughly $6.5 to $7 million every year. To try to reduce these costs, to try to get more bang for our buck, I'm looking at trying to only do 1 or 2 rehab projects, the more extensive projects, kind of like our County Road Z, where it was so bad that we have to do something to structurally support the equipment and the truck traffic and whatever to go on. Obviously, we have a limited number of staff. We have 38 field employees, and it just gets to a point where we're investing all of our time and efforts into a County Road Z project that takes 4 months to complete, and all of our staff. And now we're retracting from some of our maintenance stuff that we should be doing, our ditch work, our culvert repairs, or stuff like that. Looking at trying to get more bang for our buck by maybe just pulverizing and repaving some of these goat trails, I hate to say it. I mean, it's getting to a point where we can't keep adding base, we can't keep shouldering, we can't keep doing all this.
Yeah.
Like, we probably should, but we just don't have the budget to do it.
On your 5-year plan there, how many of those roads would qualify like Highway H from M down to 29? Because that was more of a state project, right?
Yeah, so none of these costs that I have allocated in here have any funding
Right.
involved in it. There's
But,
no
you know,
LRIP
can't-
funding, there's
can't some
no,
of these projects, maybe if you're lucky, get taken over by the state.
you're talking funding from the state or
That-
being
that-
taken
no.
over like they own the road then?
Not own the road, but they don't own County H, but yet they paid for all the work on it,
Yes.
correct?
Correct.
But how many in a 5-year plan?
So we typically get, I would say, 1 or 2 of those projects every 5 years.
Oh,
So H, like I said, is, so we have a current cycle right now, it's the 2024 through 2028, 29 cycles, the next 5 years, so 24 to 29. We will probably, maybe get 1 project.
Hmm.
Where, so
That's
right now we,
SDP.
yeah, that's the SDP.
Yeah.
So the DOT is trying to invest a lot into infrastructure of bridges right now. So that's where they're paying 100% funding for these local bridges. More town level and more of your less traveled county structures.
so was Highway H 100% state funded or?
That was an 80-20 match.
Okay, so 20% from
The,
county.
the problem we have with all this though is
Plus you can't work on it, it's gotta be
it's
outside.
gotta be contracted and like Isaac was alluding to that. Anytime you get the state involved, your costs skyrocket. So County Road H, I think, what was that, 900?
800.
Eight to $900,000 a mile. So our County Road Z project that we did a rehab of, with our own local forces, you can say it's probably 400,000 a mile. Do that, or 450, somewhere in that range. So anytime you're getting those type of projects, you might as well just say you're doubling the cost.
Which isn't really saving you.
I-
80% anymore.
I would say those type of projects are ones that we do need to put safety improvements on. We have to widen, we have to. I would say a prime example would be like up by Jake's on County Road D. The amount of traffic that we see, obviously in double B or G as well, just south of Jake's there with the corn cribs and stuff. We just need to make that wider. We need to add base. We have to have that infrastructure to withstand that. Those are the type of projects that I would like to see that we apply for.
Okay,
And we have, but unfortunately we've got denied. We've applied for it twice and got denied for those. So there's, like I said, it's not guaranteed. Guaranteed money. So if I was to look at our 5-year plan, we can probably say maybe one of these roads will be that STP project funded, where they will pay 80% of it.
We're applying for 5 or 6 for this cycle.
Yes.
So we are trying for
And-
5 or 6 of those.
And in all honesty, we may not see any.
Yeah.
With our County Road B project increasing in cost, we went through 5 change managements. The DOT has actually given us 5 increments above our original contract. So that may, like I said, that may hurt us in this program cycle.
But we are getting some major bridge work done.
Yeah, so we submitted 8 applications.
Yep.
Out of the 8, 4 of them are county infrastructures, and we do have a couple that are in the program right now that are allocated 100% funded. So like I said, that's where the DOT is trying to invest the money is in bridges, because they're so far behind. And obviously the roads are so far behind too, but it's more of a liability, let's say, when a bridge goes down and, you make the news right away.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And just to go and reiterate on that, we don't have these bridge costs in here. So the 8 bridges that we've applied for, 4 of them are the towns, which we don't budget for. We are requiring the towns to pay for it as we go instead of us doing it. But like I said, that D bridge up by Tainer. We're anticipating a $3-4 million project there, and we're on the hook for 20% of that. Cedar Falls Bridge on Double B just got inspected, and from what I was told, we better start exploring the possibility of replacing that.
It's a long ways down to the river.
Yeah, I told you.
In the DOT, and I was not aware of this, is they have a cap of $9 million. So if it's above a project more than $9 million, you have to pay for it locally. So Cedar Falls Bridge on Double B,
That's a $9 million bridge.
if I had to guess, it's gonna be darn close.
I mean, it'd be right in that area. And that,
And that's where the
Totally
county would have to
organized.
pay 20% of it. And that's what's hard is we can get all this 80-20 funding. But when you have $5 million project, we're still on the hook for $1 million of it.
Yeah.
But on
It
your,
gets
in
eaten
your
up really
5-year
quick.
plan, on an average year, how many times you have to change it because maybe like a road didn't make it through the winter real good? You know, that's on a town level.
We laugh
it's
around
planned,
here because this is usually a 15-year plan. 5 turns into 15.
Yeah.
I usually look at the 24-25 budget. That's usually what I look at because it changes. And so I did increase our maintenance budget for 2024 and 2023 for those particular roads that
That might not. come
all of a
through.
sudden we may go through the spring and they are destroyed. County Road K is a prime example. County Road 8 south of Rock Falls is a prime example.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I elected not to do it because it's like we're trying to. I'm trying to carry forward as much money from this budget to next year so we don't have to. I can't speak on what the county's gonna do, so it's getting ugly.
yeah, because that makes
But
it
yeah.
almost 5 million a short a year. That's what I was alluding to.
But like I said, I wanted to present to you. If we were to do a 20-year lifespan on a roadway, this is what we would need.
Mhm.
And like I said, I know this is probably not realistic, but if I don't present it that way, we're never going to make improvements.
Right.
So what do you think, Randy? Is the county open to borrowing more money? Just for the highway?
Well, I think there's gonna be a contingent that's against that. I'm gonna be honest with you.
I mean, I would say that's more of a full county board discussion.
That's what I mean.
That's what I mean.
Like I
Full
said,
county board,
Is
There's
there
enough
any
people-
sentiment towards it, or?
I don't know.
Well, there's some that are against.
They're gonna be dead set
Borrowing.
against it, any borrowing whatsoever, so.
Yeah,
So. It's how we're gonna have to present it is gonna be the key here. I mean.
I think so.
I mean, this is for highway. This is, I mean, what are we going to
We
do?
have to do,
I
yeah.
mean, if we don't, you're kicking this can down the road 5 years and then guess
like a
what? It's gonna,
snowball. gets
it's
bigger
gonna
and
be
bigger.
even bigger. I know that's why Eau Claire's went to bonding. I mean, I know that's why Trempealeau went to bonding some money to do roads. I mean, it's just a fact that a lot of these counties are doing this because they can't, they don't have enough money.
And that's why I want to reach out to the other 71 counties to see
Sure.
what are they doing. I mean, are we all in the same boat? I mean, I was talking to Clark County and they have like $6 million worth of levy that they're investing in transportation. They're not borrowing, but mind you, they have half the infrastructure we do for roadways, but
And their taxes are high over there.
Plus they got a lot of dirt roads too,
Yes.
a lot more than you think.
Their mill rates are higher over there than they are here. It's same with the. I mean, Colfax or Eau Claire's getting up there too, so I mean,
well, I know.
you got all rich people over there, so it doesn't matter.
Did you think, this job would be that easy for you when you applied? for
No,
this position?
I knew going into it that obviously I've dealt with this stuff. I mean,
Yeah.
even prior to me having this position, I did this
You
stuff.
know where,
So it's not like
Going
this is
on.
new.
Okay.
But we all
You guys gotta get
understand
that.
that obviously we were backfilled with ARPA funds these last few years and
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that's what.
And that
it all looked good, but yet that came to an end.
Mhm. Well, we need a motion to approve this 5-year improvement plan.
And yeah, and like I said, I would just make a caveat that it's contingent upon
Contingent upon funding, obviously.
approved by full county board, like I said. I want to make that known.
Yeah.
I know, so.
Also. Motion made and seconded to approve 5-year budget plan. Contingent on. Funding and full approval by the county board. And any other discussion? All in favor?
Right.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Nothing for considerations, the county board, next meeting is November 8th. Same place, same time, and we are adjourned.